I'm going to present this screen here, and I'm glad Mikey is in the audience. So my mod, Mikey, had sent me this tour, the one that I was just showing you, which I'm going to show you again. And I'm just going to show you the features of this tour. So we've got the outside. Let me make sure you guys can see that. Can you see that? Yeah. We've got that outside of the house. But if you go through, you have on the website, there are legends. But when I click on them, they don't show up there. All right, we've got first floor. Well, let me keep going on. There's some cool features about this, but I'm going to show you if you can't quite see. So if you can see at the bottom, the little square that's highlighted, there's some red writing in that. And what it is people had actually put place marks in there. So they had actually lined up the PCA with actual icons inside the room. So you can still see them at the bottom, but they're not there anymore and you can't click on them. So I'll read you a couple of these things. So I'll show you the screenshots that he sent me. So there were spots in each room that described the quotes that were directly taken from the PCA. Some of them they had the latent shoe print in front of Dylan's room. Yeah. Previously, you could turn the lights on and off. There are a couple slides in them, but you can't like actively do it. I checked before we came on. Xana's room actually had a link in it that brought you to Facebook Marketplace with a bunch of her listings, and I have some screenshots of that too. And
can I say something right quick?
Yeah.
You know, when you were showing the stairs leading up from Bethany's room, I always thought, I thought both of them were downstairs at the very beginning. We were told, I don't know where I heard it, but for some reason I figured both roommates were at the bottom of the stairs right there. But then we found out that Dylan was on the second floor. I always figured, what if Bethany came out of her room, went up those stairs, and actually saw more than what was said in the PCA? What if her exculpatory evidence is evidence that wasn't shared in the PCA? What if it's stuff that's going to be said in the trial? What if the evidence that the exculpatory, and what if, I'm what ifing to death here. I usually don't do this on my channel, but I'm what ifing to death here. What if what they're withholding is the discovery of her exculpatory evidence? What if that's what the prosecution is not giving the defense? And I also thought one more thing, and then I'll let you present what you're going to present. I'm sorry. What if, here we go with what if again. What if Xana had a stalker? We've never been told one way or the other. What if, part of the reason the dad changed the lock is because she felt unsafe with so many people in the house? What if she had a stalker?
These are really good questions. I mean, I guess I haven't really thought about that much, but it would be interesting to like have that in the back of your mind and kind of go through her social media and under that premise and under that context and see. And the world is mine says, I think MPD was stalking the whole house. A lot of people have said the same thing. Oh, there's so many good comments. Well, let me bring this up just because I have some of the, so you can see this photo when you go to the virtual tour. And this photo shows up at the bottom, just like the bed I was showing you that had the red writing. These show up, but when you click on them, it's completely blank. So I'm going to show you that. And then let me one more time add this and I'll go to the photo. Just so you guys know, I'm not completely making this up. And this is the photo right here. When I click on it, that's what you see. And that's versus this. So that's what you see at the bottom. But when you click on it, you see that. And then I have some slides here. So the next one, so these are some of the original screenshots that are kind of like you can see up here. I've kind of blown it up. You can see what used to be there. There were all different things you could click on that were lined up with the PCA, and again, they're all scrubbed. And I mean, I'm not saying there's anything nefarious going on. It's just, well, why? Is it because the PC isn't irrelevant? I just opened the windows, and now I've got like a blast of air coming from here. And then let me show the next slide here. So this is Xana's marketplace listing. Again, I don't know if this is what this is, if this is a clue. I just thought you guys would find this relevant, and I wanted to show you. These are some of the things she had listed on Facebook. So, and then here's another close up.
Do we know if she ever sold that bed? Or if that was the bed that they removed from the house?
I don't know. I know that it was suggested in posts from Xana's sister-in-law that they were found on the bed. So I don't know. But I know there's a bed in there from what my understanding was.
Because when they loaded that one mattress on the back of the truck, it looked like just one mattress. You know, it didn't look like two mattresses together. It looked like, what would that be, a queen right there or a full?
I think that's a twin, but I don't know.
That one right there?
I don't know.
I don't know, but the angle looks maybe like a full size. I don't know. I think it's a little bigger than a twin.
You think so?
Yeah, it says full mattress right there. Full.
Oh, well, let me take them
Yeah,
a
full mattress. So I wonder if she ever sold it. Like if she was able to sell it or she kept it. If so, that would have been the bed that was loaded up in the back of the truck.
I mean, I'm just looking to see if I can see a date on those. And I actually have the photos of them removing them from the crime scene. But again, it's one of those things where I don't want you guys to wait while I go grab it and download it. But, oops, that's for the next.
I gave you a wrench, Truth. You don't want it? I'll take it off tomorrow if you don't want it.
I have 5 mods I need to add, and I love all of you. And I'm sorry if I haven't added your wrenches yet, but it's just because I was studying so hard for this live stream. I thought I'd read a couple of these comments because it seems like people have some really insights for us. So let's go with this one. Some accounts describe Xana as being found on the floor inside the locked doorway, and Ethan on the bed where the blood went through the floor to the cement visible outside on the foundation. And then we have one saying, intriguing to me how no connection means my DNA is on the knife sheet under the deceased stabbed victim. What does AT consider a connection? But how did the police get to him? Because that DNA, because if it comes from the IgG, what's going to end up happening is they're going to fight it, and they're going to try to have the IgG thrown out, because IgG isn't meant, it's just meant to be a tip. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how they honed in on him. It seems like Dylan would have had to use the restroom outside Xana's bedroom. So if the door was closed and locked, that could explain why Dylan saw no blood on the floor in the front of the bedroom. That's a really good comment, Silent Murmur.
You know, when you were referencing that FBI or the lady that had a husband who was law enforcement or whatever earlier, that article, or no, Annie Elise said in her live that the knife sheath was first found under Ethan.
Yep.
Yes.
I mean, and a lot of people said, oh, well, that kind of makes it so her reports are inaccurate. But to me, it was like, well, how did she even know anything about a knife sheath? Like, yes, the information wasn't perfect, but it was third-hand information, and it was a lot more accurate than a guess. So I thought, anyway.
Yeah. I mean, how could you know this stuff way before the PCA came out? Because I didn't know about a knife sheath until I read it in the PCA. Did you?
Um, when I study Papa Rogers, this is a debate that keeps coming up. So, and I could bring up the post, but he states something about the knife sheath, saying that he think they found the knife sheath. And I remember hearing in the Thought Riot podcast before they were going over that, and they actually found one other place where it was cited in a news outlet, a speculation about a knife sheath, just to show that it was not just him, like other people had mentioned it. So I can't say that it was the first time I heard it, but I've seen evidence that it was posted in other places before. So Papa Rogers and then that news outlet, but I've only seen the two places.
Okay.
So I don't know. I don't know if it was general knowledge or not.
Yeah, that's what OK Granny says. Okie Granny says they have found the sheath. They must have found the sheath. That's what Papa Roger says.
Gosh, we have so many comments. I'm sorry. I'm still behind. Wondering. This one says, I heard you, but I'm wondering why test the sheaths, which would seem extremely important, and then say the DNA is the person that for sure is innocent and proves no connection. Do you understand the question a little?
I guess they're asking why test the sheath, which is important, and then say the DNA is not important and the person's innocent. If you found the DNA of the person who is locked up right now, I guess that's what they were meaning. I don't know.
And then this is kind of PKC kind of just is reflecting my sentiments. A typical phone game. Every time the story is shared, it gets words twisted, missed, and added. And that's the way I thought. And that's why when we hear this word on the street or these early accounts, it's not like we need to take their words literally as fact. Is that there might be some things in there that come from the truth, but it's just like PKC says right here. It's a typical game of phone. Every time the story is shared, it gets little words twisted, missed, or added. So
We're talking about the bathroom on the second floor, Jeff, not the first one. I understand the first floor had the shower curtain. Yeah.
like he says, I strongly believe she went downstairs, eventually to the bottom floor, and that explains why some accounts say Dylan and Bethany yelled upstairs. And I strongly believe, too, that that's the case. What about you, 12, by the way the PC is worded?
Did you say Dylan would have used the bathroom on the second floor or Bethany?
Oh, I was thinking about where they ended up, but I don't remember. The bathroom? Um, they were saying that Dylan would have not had to go by Xana's room to use the bathroom, so she wouldn't have walked by Xana's room. Is that the quote you were talking about? 12.
Yes. Could Jeff was thinking you said Bethany because she would have went to her own bathroom downstairs. As soon as you open the door, there's a bathroom right there with a
Yep.
black and white shower curtain.
Well, if I misspoke, I'm sorry, but thank you,
Yeah.
Jeff.
It was
Um, so in the PCA, I totally agree, and I've actually who else agrees is the lawyer. He said when you read that PCA and it says where Dylan was originally. I mean, what else could that mean? It means that that's not where she was in the end. This was where she
yeah.
was originally. And I mean, he's like, it's plain English, what else? That's what it means. I mean, so I tend to agree.
Do you believe that Dylan went downstairs after she saw the masked guy?
Yes, I
She
do.
went down to Bethany's room?
I think so. I think she spent the night in Bethany's room, but that's just pure speculation for everyone watching. It's just,
I've heard that too. I've heard that too.
and I think that that was kind of like when we had the original accounts before everything was gagged and the PCA was talking. I just remember everybody always kind of bringing that up in chats and stuff. And I think that maybe we all changed our mind when we read the PCA. Yeah, a lot of people feel the same way about Annie.
Can I highlight? Oh, I can't highlight
Well,
chat.
tell me which one you want. Tell me the timestamp.
The last one, truth exposed.
Okay. You want to read it? I'll
Since
read it.
since Kaylee was moving out, wouldn't the next girl in line have dibs on the better room? Wouldn't that have been Xana?
It wouldn't have. Well, Bethany probably. I mean, not Bethany. Maddie wouldn't have want to move from her room because she had a really nice location. I've heard this before. Lana from Truth and Transparency went into this in detail. If I remember correctly, Dylan was the one who was going to be moving up to Maddie's room. And I'm sure the internet will correct us in a second. I do remember the live stream where Lana talks about it because she was evaluating a photograph of Kaylee and Dylan inside Kaylee's room because Dylan was Kaylee's little sister. It's sorority little sister, you guys. And
Well, I would think their age would matter because of the the year they were in college. Like, I mean, like you wouldn't be 20 as a freshman, and I mean, I was just thinking along that line. That's why I was using their age. Because Kaylee was a senior, so she would have been graduating, right?
Kaylee?
Yes,
Yes.
she was a senior.
Yes.
Maddie was a junior. Xana was a what? Junior?
She must have been a junior. No,
And Ethan was a freshman still.
I'm not going to speak on it because anything I say is a guess, so I'm not really contributing much. So I'm not gonna like. This is a good questions that I should know the answer to. They're just so basic, and I'm actually kind of embarrassed I don't have that. And then this question
Good
from
night, Carla.
what was that? Oh, good night, Carla. So I thought Kaylee was the last one to move in. Am I wrong? To be with Maddie? I mean, Kaylee was in the process of moving out. We know that. So I don't know. And then the other one, Mikey said, I saw it up here. I wish I had started.
Nina says Xana took Ashlyn's room. So Ashlyn graduated the May before. So Xana took her room. So Xana was probably downstairs in the first room, and she moved upstairs. Oh, okay, psych. That makes sense. She said age doesn't matter in post-COVID college.
Age
Okay,
doesn't matter in post-COVID college.
yeah, that makes sense.
It's a good comment. Heard Kay moved in August, Xana in September. All right. Well, so we have two more segments. I'm gonna do my oops, why did I pull that up? So the next
That's
segment,
some interesting stuff you're presenting tonight. Whoa, like we're
I
going
know.
like an hour and something right now.
I actually am surprised we've been talking for so long. I thought we'd zip right through these segments, but I think what it is that you definitely have like that investigative eye. Like you pick apart the pictures I present, and I love that. I love having you on the show, 12. Thank you.
Well, thank you for inviting me.